Hey there, yogis. I'm Nicole. Welcome back to my yoga time. Thanks for joining me today. Today's yoga class is a gentle practice. It's been therapeutically sequenced to help undo tension that's been accumulated throughout the day and also help you quieten that busy mind. But you can practice this class at any time of the day. It doesn't have to be just in the evening only. A couple of things for this class. We are going to use the wall, so do position your mat up against the wall. And I've also got 2 yoga blocks. If you don't have 2 blocks, 1 block is fine. If you've got no blocks, then you can improvise with either a blanket or a big towel that's rolled up nice and tight. Or of course you can stack 1 or 2 pillows on top of one another. We'll also do the trick. So when you're ready, let's begin. We're going to start with our legs up against the wall. Have your props close by. So the easiest way to come into this position is to sit with your hip touching the wall, so you're sitting sideways. And then as you bring your shoulders down, swing those legs up. So a little bit of space between the wall and your bottom is fine. And if you're quite tight through the back and the hamstrings, you'll probably prefer that space. Otherwise, a little bit of a wiggle and a shimmy to get in as close as is comfortable. We are going to use props here, so you can bend your knees, press your feet into the wall, and either place 1 block on the flat side, or if you've got the 2, you can stack the 2 on top of one another. If you don't have the blocks, you can bring in your rolled up towel or your pillow. And if you'd rather lay flat and have no props underneath the bottom, that's fine as well. Let's tuck the shoulders under, gently lengthening through the back of the neck. Gently placing the tip of your tongue where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. Feeling a little space between the top and bottom teeth. The jaw is relaxed. They're beginning to feel a little tone through the back of your throat for Ujjayi breath. You may even begin to hear the sound of your breath rolling over the back of the throat. And on your next inhalation, notice the navel rise. Ribs and chest expand. And then pause, hold the breath for just a moment before exhaling slowly. Navel falling towards the spine. So if you are nursing any shoulder injuries, you might choose just to rest here with either the arms by your side or maybe hands on the navel. Otherwise, we're going to move first just single arms and then both arms together with the breath. Do your best to begin the breath before the movement so that the breath initiates the movement, and then try to finish the movement before the breath. So when you're ready, bring both arms a little closer to the body, and we'll start with the right arm only. As you begin to inhale, lift the right arm up. Drishti is the fingertips. As you exhale, take the arm out to the side. The head is turning as you watch those fingers return to the mat. Then head comes back to center. Inhale, left arm up. Turning the head as the arm comes out to the side. Slowly lowering back down. Right side. The left side, last time, single arm. Both arms. Head will stay in the center. This third time is our final time. You might choose to keep the arms overhead. So inhaling up, maybe catching opposite elbows with the hands. Or of course you can exhale those arms back down. We're only here for a couple more breaths. Can you witness those breaths without the mind chatter distracting you? And let's lower those hands back down by your side. Bending in the knees, press into the feet just to lift up off the prop and then lower back down. We'll briefly take butterfly legs, so soles of the feet to meet, knees to fall out wide. You might even like to arch the lower back here, just a little. Breathing into the lower belly, the lower back, the hips and thighs. And let's inhale those knees back together. If you like, you can wiggle back just a touch from the wall. We'll straighten the right leg and then take reclined pigeon left leg. So left ankle will rest on the front of the right leg, either above or below that knee. Here is option 1. Option 2, a little deeper if you bend that right leg as well. Just don't let the bottom lift up off the mat. Keep anchoring down. You might like to hold it still or maybe bring in a little rock from side to side. And let's change sides. Option 1, left leg is straight. Option 2, bend that knee. Little dorsal flexion through the right foot, toes drawing back towards that knee. Breathing into any tension you might be feeling in the outer hip. And let's release. We'll come off the wall now. You can roll to your side. And gently press yourself up, coming into a tabletop position. Just move your props to the side. From here we'll come into our puppy pose. So keeping the hips up nice and high. Option 2, keep the arms straight. Walk the hands out as far in front as you can and have the hands as wide as the mat. Forehead will rest on the mat, or you can always use a prop underneath the head. If you are nursing a shoulder injury, leave that arm out of it. Just use the back of that palm as a pillow instead. Otherwise, the third option, bring the elbows a little closer together, hands to prayer above the head. And observing the breath in the upper body. As you inhale, feel the ribs and chest expand in all directions. Take a little pause before you exhale slowly. And let's release those hands down. We'll sit back into child's pose for just a few breaths. So walk the hands back, sitting back towards the heels. Forehead will stay on the mat. You can always use your hands as a pillow. Otherwise, I encourage you to have your hands next to the feet, palms facing up. Let those shoulders relax. Let them be heavy. Breathe into your back. And on your next inhalation, gently pressing yourself up. And we're staying in a seated position now. Bring those legs out in front. We're going to take a slightly different variation of our head to knee pose, Janu Shirshasana, our forward fold. Now, slightly different variation in that our left leg will be our bent leg to start with. Instead of having that foot nice and close to the groin, I want you to move it a little further away. Instead of having full contact with the sole of the foot and the right leg, you can move the foot out a little bit. So I've just got a couple of inches there in between the sole of the left foot and the right leg. We also want to bend the right leg today. So if you've got either one block or maybe your towel, just bend the knee and prop that underneath. We're keeping the foot flexed, toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Let's take the hands behind us to begin with. Inhale and lift the heart, and you'll feel the lower back begin to arch a little. As you exhale, start to tilt forward. As you inhale, arms out to the side. And as you exhale, bring those hands forward, just to the outside edges of the mat. So we're keeping this knee bent, and ideally we want the belly to meet the thigh. So you might find that you need to bend that knee a little bit more. Now you can either rest with the hands here as wide as the mat, or you might like to thread your right hand underneath that right calf muscle and just allow the head to relax. Allow the back to round. If you'd rather not have the prop underneath that right leg, you can remove it, as long as you don't lose contact between belly and the thigh. And this variation of our head to knee pose also has the sternum in the center of the mat rather than being over that right leg. So you should be feeling a little more space in the hips in particular and the low back. And let's inhale to come up. We'll take an open twist from here. Lift up your left leg, cross it over the right, so you're sitting only on the right leg. Left buttock is off the mat. The left arm is on the inside of the knee. If you can, look over your right shoulder. And deepen the breath to deepen the twist. And let's return to center. Changing sides now. Left leg will straighten out. You can prop up that knee. Bending the right leg. Again, don't have the foot too close to the groin. Don't have the sole of the foot meeting the left leg. Let's have a little bit of space. Hands behind you. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, arms out. Exhale and fold. Either hands as wide as the mat or threading one hand underneath the calf muscle. Removing the block if you prefer, and keeping the sternum over the center of the mat rather than over the leg. Breathe into the back. Can you feel your back rise and expand as you inhale? A moment to pause before you exhale. And let's inhale to come all the way up. Lifting up that right knee, crossing it over the left leg. Take an open twist so you're sitting on the left leg only. Right buttock is off the mat. And return to center. We'll take a quick swish, knees from side to side. So next posture is going to be an upper back bend, and I'm using the 2 blocks for this. If you need to lighten the pose, you'll have the prop under the head higher than the one under the shoulders. Otherwise, they can be neutral. If you don't have the blocks, you're going to have that rolled up towel running across the back of the shoulder blades and potentially nothing under the head, or maybe a pillow. If you've only got the 1 block, then you could use a pillow under the head for support. So I've got those 2 blocks running parallel to one another. Again, the bottom one is right underneath those shoulder blades and the top prop is underneath the head. Take it higher if it's too strong. Any niggling in the back, keep those knees bent. Otherwise, you can straighten and relax the legs. I'm going to remove the prop under the head today and just have the one under the shoulders. But find what feels best for your body. We are all different, and every day is different. What feels good one day might not feel so good the next. So be sure to meet your body where it is right now. Arms out to the side and palms to face the ceiling. Option to take Chin Mudra, connecting index finger and thumbs. Begin to breathe into the heart center. You may even begin to visualize the breath or the prana as white or golden light. Inhaling to the heart center and then radiating out in all directions, filling the whole body. And let's prepare to release the pose, bending those knees, either rolling to your side to come off the props or come halfway up to seated, removing the props and then reclining onto your back. Once on your back, just rest with the knees bent, feet wide, knees touching. And feeling the meeting points between the upper back and the mat. Breathe into any newfound space. Well done, yogis. Let's lift up those feet now. Take the feet up towards the ceiling. You can just rest your hands on your outer legs, or maybe you can pistol grip your big toes. So we inhale, let's take the legs out nice and wide. As you exhale, come back together. 2 more. And this 3rd time as the legs come back together, let's cross the left leg over the right leg at the thighs, bend the knees. Press the thighs together and lift head and shoulders up off the mat. Keep squeezing those thighs. As we wring out any last bit of tension or stress from your day. And then lower down. Let's take a twist. Hips move to the left about 1 centimeter. Have a prop ready to support your legs as you bring those knees over to the right. If this is too strong on your hips, you can uncross the legs and have the prop in between the thighs instead. Breathing into the lower belly and the lower back. Let's inhale those knees back to center, centering the body once again. Lifting up the feet, straightening the legs, either catching the big toes or resting hands on the outer legs. Inhaling nice and wide, exhaling together. Third and final time, we're going to cross the right leg over the left this time. Thighs are squeezing, knees are bending, head and shoulders lifting. And lower down. Hips over to the right just a touch, twisting, knees to the left. Find that sweet little pause before you exhale each and every time. When you're ready, come back to center. We'll close our practice in Shavasana. You can uncross those legs. You might like to just lay flat, or I like to have one block under each thigh. You could have your pillow or your rolled up towel underneath the knees or the thighs. And making yourself as comfortable as you can. Shoulders tucking under, heart expanding. Either let the fingers curl naturally or take your mudra once again. Softening the forehead, closing the eyes down, relaxing the tongue and jaw. I will leave you here in Shavasana today, yogis. Please take as long as you like. And as you rest in this spaciousness, leave no traces with your thoughts, just as birds leave no tracks in the sky. Allow your thoughts to float off into the distance. Take the next few moments to be the witness, the quiet observer.